She read my private messages out loud. Everyone laughed. She called it a joke. That was the moment I realized love doesn't humiliate.
It was supposed to be funny. At least that's what she kept saying afterward. A joke, a harmless prank meant to lighten the mood, but laughter has a sound and humiliation has one too. I heard the difference clearly that night. We were at a crowded restaurant celebrating her promotion. Her colleagues filled the table, drinks flowing, stories overlapping. I was already uncomfortable. I never enjoyed being the quiet one among loud people, but I went anyway because she asked me to. Because I thought showing up mattered. Halfway through dinner, she stood up and tapped her glass with a spoon. "I have something to share," she said, smiling. I smiled too, unsure why my stomach suddenly tightened. She pulled out her phone and began reading messages. Messages I recognized immediately. Private conversations I had sent her during difficult weeks. Confessions, insecurities, things I trusted her with because I believed marriage meant safety. The table erupted in laughter. Someone clapped. Someone else whistled. "She's kidding, right?" one of her friends said between laughs. I felt heat crawl up my neck as she finished with a dramatic flourish and added, "Relax, everyone. He knows I'm joking." I didn't laugh. I couldn't. My body felt like it was sinking into itself, folding inward to protect what little dignity I had left. I stood up quietly, placed my napkin on the table, and walked out. She didn't follow me, not right away. She was too busy soaking in the attention, too convinced I'd cool off and come back like I always did. But something broke that night. Not loudly, cleanly, I went home, packed a bag, and left before she returned. No note, no explanation. I didn't owe her one anymore. She had already told everyone everything she thought of me. The next few weeks were a blur of missed calls and messages that shifted tones rapidly. Confusion turned into irritation, irritation into anger, anger into carefully worded apologies. She said she didn't realize it would hurt me that badly, that I was too sensitive, that everyone laughed, so it couldn't have been that serious. That was when I understood something important. The apology wasn't for the act. It was for the reaction she didn't expect. I disappeared from her life entirely, changed my number, moved apartments, told mutual friends I needed space and asked them not to share details. Some respected that. Some didn't. I learned who valued boundaries and who just enjoyed drama. I focused on work, long hours, quiet nights, rebuilding myself piece by piece, without commentary, without an audience. Time passed. Months turned into years. In that silence, I rediscovered who I was before I started shrinking to fit someone else's sense of humor. I pursued opportunities I'd postponed, took risks I'd been too careful to consider. I grew into a version of myself that didn't flinch at the sound of laughter I heard about her occasionally, always through someone else. How she couldn't believe I'd vanished like that. How she told people she didn't mean it. How she painted herself as confused, abandoned, misunderstood. I didn't correct the narrative. Peace doesn't require public defense. 5 years later, I ran into her by accident. I was leaving a bookstore when I heard my name spoken hesitantly behind me. I turned and there she was, older, softer around the edges. The confidence she once wielded so easily now looked rehearsed. She stared like she wasn't sure I was real. "You look different," she said. "So do you," I replied. We talked, or rather she talked, about regrets, about how she'd lost people since then, about how she finally understood why I left. She said the prank had followed her longer than she expected, that people remembered, that jokes reveal more than intentions ever do. "I never thought you'd actually leave," she admitted quietly. "That was the problem," I said, not unkindly. She asked if I was happy. I told her yes, and I meant it. Before we parted, she apologized again, this time without excuses, without explaining herself. Just regret. I accepted it. Forgiveness isn't reconciliation. It's closure. As I walked away, I realized something else. Disappearing hadn't been an act of revenge. It was an act of self-respect. I didn't leave to teach her a lesson. I left because staying would have taught me the wrong one. Some people call humiliation humor when it benefits them. Some call cruelty honesty. I learned that love doesn't require endurance of disrespect, and loyalty doesn't mean silence. Walking away wasn't dramatic. It was necessary. And it gave me a life where laughter finally sounded the way it should. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.